Well, look at that. Look at that. First off and foremost, I want to thank you all. Thank you very much for coming. Now, show of hands, how many of you here have met marbles? Ooh-wee, that many. Well, how many of you ever eaten a hamburger cooked by him? Have you ever bought a bag of wheat off of him? Yeah, he can be like that. Now, it's easy to get yelled at by this outrageous man with his stadium rock hairdo and his in-your-face attitude and think to yourself, I have reason to be offended. Maybe so. Maybe so. But I'm here to tell you that as Marbles tells you to suck his cock and fuck off, he does not mean for you to be offended at all. Now, family, please open your copies of the Tome of Vile Darkness, Book of Holden, Chapter 87, verse 93. I'll give you a moment.
I love this so much.
Now there, it says, Blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in marbles. Now, it is necessary to remember the meaning of the word offend. In its original form, it is the word we frequently use scandalize for, and it has the force of causing one to stumble. So we may translate and expand this saying of Holden as being, Blessed are they who do not find in marbles any cause of stumbling, who can keep their feet in his way, who is not tripped up by any obstacles on the path onto which he has directed them. Now, he doesn't use the word often, but when he does, for example, speak of a man's eye or hand or skin being a cause of stumbling to him, when he denounces those who cause his little ones to be offended, it is always followed by a declaration that in the day of her glory, that all things that offend shall be rooted out of her family. Praise the
Praise
Lord.
the void. Praise the void.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the void.
Thank you so much. One of the greatest perils of today, of devoting your life to the void, lurks in the common pathway of discipleship, and it is the peril of being offended in marbles. The fellowship to which our mother's whispers summon us inevitably inspires a new and humiliating discovery of self, an unvarying disturbance of established order on our lives. As her will corrects and opposes our own, and a ceaseless effort to attain the ideal, that is, to make our lives as what the uninitiated call void cultists, increasingly correspond to hers as forerunning. The danger is just here we are apt to break down under the test and training of it all, and to go back and walk no more with marbles. In short, to be offended with marbles. Now, it is possible, despite every sincere profession of the soul, that what the void mother meant for a blessing should become blight to us by our misconceptions. It's true.
Praise the void.
It is perilously possible that the enveloping darkness of night should become the harsh and cutting light of day by reason of our failure to obey and keep in step with her, by reason of our lagging behind or turning aside from the compelling guidances of Marble's companionship. Otherwise, decent folk have in this way, unconsciously and imperceptibly, put themselves far out of the range of Marble's saving influences and have become, like the derelicts of the ocean, occasions of danger and disaster to countless other lives. But Marbles, with that absolute frankness, which is a large part of his attractiveness to folk, cannot be held to blame for such pitiful defections, for he never disguises that thing which happens, which inevitably is people turning against him. In her evangel, he combines welcome with warning as none other has done. His word, while it opens up the very heart of the void to our consciousness, opens also our hearts to us. By him, we come to know the mother, and by him, we also come to know ourselves. He reveals the entire emptiness of the void to us, but he reveals also the instability of our own wills and the untrustworthiness of our own motion. He treats us not as ideal, but as real folk, and forewarns us of the destruction that wasteth at the noonday, and the pestilence that waketh in the darkness. Hence it is to the most earnest and self-convinced of us all that Holden says, Blessed is whosoever that shall not be offended in marvels. The implicate is obvious and ominous, but the richness and reality of her embrace is the sufficient and silencing answer to each and every one of our fears. The blessedness of the offended, despite all the danger without and the weakness within, is the possible acquisition of each and every one of you. And it is blessedness indeed. Praise the void.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the void.
Praise the void. It really makes you think. Now, it is not disloyal to Marbles to say this, that he not only masters men, but mystifies them also. While he blesses them, he bewilders them too. Mm-hmm. So incomparably high are his ways and his thoughts than ours. He persuades us to love and loyalty, but he puzzles us too, often to the point of distraction. He certainly answers the questions of our heart, but at the same time, he arouses even more questions than answers. And in the life of every true follower of the void, there will always be, as there is in his own life, some great unanswered why. None of us will ever be exempt for the need of acquiring, by faith and patience, the blessedness of the unoffended. Now, it will help us if we remember this simple fact, that he knows and does just what is best for both the development and repression of our lives. In reality, he is only unsympathetic with our egotisms. He only seeks to destroy within us anything savoring of selfish love, selfish pride, and selfish self-sufficiency. Shelving that, he works. Oh, thank you so much. Testify. Mm-hmm. He works to reproduce in us something of the beauty of his own character. In his contradictions, rightfully apprehended, we may see the expression of his perfect wisdom with regard to our highest interests, and the interests also of the family in which he has given us a share. Then, blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended, who simply accepts the direction of Marbles as his listener and who trusts him. And to simply trust him seems the hardest thing of all. In summation, let us beware of putting any undue value on our mere preconceptions of the truth. Let us beware of overestimating the strength of our own resolves and resources. Let us beware of saying anything like, although men should be offended because of this cunt, yet never will I be offended. Rather, in a sensitive, humble dependence on Marbles, which always expresses itself in rigid devotion and loyalty to his word, let us seek to live as folks of manifested faith. For this is the condition which governs all the blessedness of the unoffended.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the void.
Praise the void.
Facts.
All right, I will now close services with a prayer. Gloria Mater, et autitor, et in annis sancto, sicut erat in principo, et nunc, et semper, in et secula seculorum. Praise the Lord. Thank you all for coming. I just bless you all so much.
Glory to the void.
Glory to the
Glory to
void.
the void.
Hell yeah, Wolfie.
Enjoy some pie and coffee on your way out, and I hope to see you next Sunday.
Fuck yeah.